Fairly amazing night at the office, Justin.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to get, do you, when you rock up to play a game of footy as a coach? But yeah, 2 contrasting weeks for us, as far as energy levels and output. So,
yeah. How much does it say about your team's resilience for a start that you could get off the canvas after last week?
Yeah. I suppose that does show a bit for our resilience. I guess getting smashed in the last quarter last week shows we didn't have a lot of resilience either. So, as mentioned to the players, I mean, nothing's as good as it seems, nothing's as bad as it seems. We have to be level in wins and losses, and we weren't as bad as we were. We're not as bad a team as we were last week. But also understanding tonight that we had a very depleted side also that had their issues as well. So we were able to take advantage of that. So we have to sort of keep that in check as well.
People talk about Collingwood's injuries and what have you, but I mean, the start of the game, you were all over them as well. So, I mean, that must have been very pleasing for you.
Oh, we did our part. There's no doubt about it. I was probably more talking about the assistants. When you lose, they're almost their 5 best players. Either before the game or during the game. It does give you a leg up, but we still did our part and played our best football probably for the year. So that was pleasing.
How late did you find out that Pendles wasn't playing?
I was up in the coach's box.
Really?
Yeah, so everything was sort of shuffled around a bit, but those sort of things are good news, not bad news. So, you just have to quickly adjust. Players are prepared for contingencies and things like that. They're smart enough to adapt the midfield.
We see Rockcliffe and Zorko and Hanley playing well all year, but you must be wrapped with the younger guys and what they're showing. Some of those young fellas were enormous tonight. Yeah,
we got a lot of debutants this year that show really good signs, like Darcy Gardner and Dan McStay and Louis Taylor's lively. And even some guys have been around for a few years. Joshy Green and Ryan Harwood has been good. Rowan Buick's sort of resurrected himself this year. So, yeah, there is some encouraging signs for the future.
We heard Brenton Sanderson talk about the heat and the 6-day break and all that sort of stuff. I mean, what's your view on that, given what you've done today?
I guess we were poor in the heat last week. We probably could argue we don't want the freezing cold games in Melbourne, actually, on a Saturday night. They're too cold for us, but we seem to adapt okay. Look, I guess you do run a risk 110 at Brisbane. You do, obviously, because it's just, potentially can be a hot day, whether it's at the start of the season or the end. So I can understand that part of it, and they're prepping for finals in 6 days, so it's probably more an issue for Adelaide last week than it was for us. But I thought they were terrific in it, so it's one of those funny ones. Really, you just got to play in the conditions that suit. I mean, I think the AFL do a good job in trying its best to, for players' interests and trying to avoid the heat and things like that. But you've also got scheduling, and I'm not a part of the fixturing, but I'm probably getting into something I know nothing about.
But do you have a philosophy though about making comment about that, and it feels like it almost gives the players an out when you sort of say that sort of stuff?
You got to find that balance, don't you? You don't want to give players outs, for their performance, but you also still want to stand your ground on the issues you want. So, I mean, that was, I support Brent in that. If he has an issue with it, support it. You got to support your club, your players, and what you stand for. So I fully support that. We don't have to play at 110. I don't, we've got to play 110. I'm happy with 440 games at the Gabba. We like those. So it doesn't really matter where we play at the Gabba for us. So I'm happy either way.
Just in terms, obviously been around footy for a long time. In terms of the young group you've got, how exciting are they? I mean, you see another one bubble up, like Freeman kicks 4. In terms of just the depth of young talent, where does this sit for you?
Well, in a lot of ways, I've been fortunate, or not, that I've had to play some of these kids through the depth of injury we've had on our list. So that's the exciting part, is that I've been forced to back them in and myself in, and the judgment of our recruiters to get them out there. And they've repaid those things. And this is only their first year. It's only their glimpse of them. They've still got a lot of work to do, these boys. But it is exciting. It's exciting for our football club that they see some talent coming through the door.
What did they ask about? I mean, we heard that it was not just his first game at the MCG, his first time at the MCG.
I found out that before the game. He's never actually been to the MCG. My gosh, who would have thought? Hey?
He goes all right.
Yeah, and he kicked 4 goals in his very first crack at it, so well done. Really good effort. I'm really proud of him because he's worked hard. It's a difficult year in your first year in the system as a kid, as a Queenslander, so he's done well.
source merit? What's the situation?
Yeah, it's within the knee, right knee. We don't have actual. There was a comment that it could be just a hyperextension, which obviously we're hoping and praying that it's just something as minor as that, and not the full deal. So we'll obviously scans will determine that.
And did Gardner have a sore ankle at the end?
Sorry?
Did Gardner have a sore ankle?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so we subbed him out because he was just looking. He could have played the game out, but we just thought it was, he's a kid in his first year, just get him out and get him rested.
Can I ask how you're feeling about your season? Earlier in the year, you said it would have been achievement to get to 5 wins. You've got 7 now. I mean, is it a success already?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to how you classify our season. It's been a week by week sort of thing. You don't plan on you plan for your best team for the season, what that may look like. I knew we had to debut a lot of kids, giving them the amount that walked out the door. You can't have guys walk out the door without new ones debuting for your club. That's just a fact. So I knew that had to happen, which would have made the season difficult. But yeah, you lose Daniel Rich, Leuenberger. It's hard to assess. It's also your fixturing, like when you play a team like Collingwood tonight, they lose 5 players. It makes it easy for us. So you don't know those things. If we lost 5 players, they'd be sitting here in the same situation. So there's certain parts you plan for. There's other parts that just happen week by week. So all in all, I'd say the year's been a success in a lot of other areas apart from the absolute win-loss. Blooding players, getting talent into our organisation, giving them opportunity, and then probably seeing the glimpses of their potential. I think that's what we can take out of the season so far.
Leppa, fascinating ruck situation when Steph Marks was playing so well. Can you play him and Rui in the same side?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Berger played 2s today, and he couldn't quite finish the game. He just had a bit of a sore toe at the end. So whenever Louis looks like he's about to come back, something, this is an extremely minor one. So I haven't got the assessment yet. It was only happened today, but it's probably one that he might miss a game. So with 2 weeks to go, we may not see that combination together this year the way it's looking, but I'll keep you posted on that one.
Just in terms of Steph, I mean, it's like having another midfielder out there, isn't it, man? He's finished with 32 disposals and probably won the ruck as well. Incredible year, isn't it?
He's had a great year. And I said before, he'd be leading our best and fairest on average, I think. But he's coming home with a storm. He might even win the Brownlow. What do you think? No? Get enough 3 voters, you never know. All right.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.